Hello everyone, I'm Colin Cannett. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about glue and glue-ups, and I know it's not a super exciting topic, but when you've finished a project and you look back on it and you find out some of the mistakes and things that you've had to fix along the way and wasted a lot of time doing, then you start to understand why the glue-ups are so important to get right all along. Now, I can't cover everything in this video, but I know that some of our more talented woodworkers will, in the comments, will make mention of some other things along the way. So this is probably one video that you're going to want to read the comments, because I know there's going to be some other tips and ideas and things that they use as well that we can all benefit from. So let's jump right in. So very quickly, these are the glues that I use most frequently. So I use these Titebonds. I use Titebond 1, 2, and 3. I use hide glues. I use the granules. I mix them up from scratch, but I also use the prepared hide glue. And of course, I use 2-part 5-minute epoxy and CA glues. And all of them do a super job, but if the instrument that you're applying them with is not clean, or if you have some sort of issues in applying them, you can run into problems. So let's talk about how to apply these. So for me, the two most frequent kinds of gluing that I would be using edge grain, so I'm gluing boards together, and I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. Or I might have a big substrate here that I might be gluing a veneer on, and that could be an MDF, it could be a plywood, something like that, or it could even be boards glued together like that. But that's what I'm putting a veneer on, and I'll talk more about that later. Let's take a quick look at edge grain gluing for a minute. So the edge grain gluing is what I probably do the most of, and for that my boards are typically, in this case I'm only using 2 of them, but they're typically laid out on the clamps, and underneath it I almost always use parchment paper. It's inexpensive, it's disposable, it's easy to use, it protects the clamps from getting glue on them so that you don't have to clean it off. So what I do, if I only have a couple of these, there's 2 things that you want to do when you're gluing. You want to make sure that there's no grit, and you want to make sure that you get sufficient glue on there. Now, what happens if you have a little bit of grit or a little grain of something on there, or if the joint is starved for glue? What will happen? The boards will go together and they'll be glued, but somewhere in the middle, if there's a little bit of grit, it will, you can see that line just when I pull it out, even just a little bit, you can see that line coming out there. And if there's a little bit of grit or something, or maybe it's starved for glue in an area, like maybe right in there, just a little bit, maybe only 1/4 of an inch, it will show up as a little black, looks like a little black tiny line in there. It will drive you crazy forever. And that's what happens if you don't get enough glue, or if the boards can't come together. So when you're applying glue, if it's only 2 boards, what I will typically, this is one of my applicators, and I'm using usually a Titebond in this. I will run a bead of glue down each side of it. Then I'll run my finger along, and your finger is actually ideal, because if there's any little bit of grit or sawdust or a wood chip, you'll feel it on there. Or the worst thing is, with any of these reusable bottles, you can get, if the ends are not cleaned off all the time, you can get a little tiny grit of dried glue on there. And that's another thing that can get in there, and it can prevent these joints from aligning or joining properly. And then I just run my finger along it. The only difficulty with that is you need to get the glue off your fingers, so I usually use a paper towel. The nice thing with fingers is if there's any little bit of grit in there, you can feel it and you get a nice application on there. Now, if I'm doing more, if I'm doing like 3 or 4 boards together, then I'll use one of these little silicone brushes. You can get those from a dollar store somewhere, and they're nice because you can run that and apply that on there to all sorts of different joints. I also use these little acid brushes, and you can see that I actually cut them down. See that? That little black one there, there's a white one. Depending on how wide the board is, I might use a full one or I might use a half one. And these little short ones like this, I'll actually clean those. They'll clean off pretty nice. These I will typically dispose of because I've done enough joints on this that and I've left it. The glue's probably semi-hard in there. But I also take full paint brushes. You can see I've cut the top off that one or the bottom off that one. And another one, there's another one that I would use on something like this. And this one is a nylon. It actually cleans up quite well. I reuse that one. This one is a nylon as well, and it cleans up quite well as well. So there's different things that you can do. Then when you put the boards together, now you put clean glue on there with no grit. When you put them together, you're going to get a nice, even glue up, and you're going to have glue squeezing up all the way along front and back. And of course you can't see the back in there, but this is the face side. Always I put the blue tape on the face side, so I glue it face up so I can see that I don't have any voids in there. When that's done, you wait for the glue to dry and you're good to go. All right, let's talk about doing some face edge gluing. Gluing large surfaces, and maybe you're doing some veneering, maybe you're laying down some plastic laminate, or maybe you're laminating plywoods together. There's all sorts of reasons where you might have a big surface that you want to put glue on. For veneering, I would typically, not this, but I would typically be using the granules and mixing my own hide glue for that. And you need to be very quick with that. But I could be using a Titebond glue as well. So I have a variety of things that I use. Again, back to the dollar store, and I won't be using this applicator. I'll probably be putting it in some sort of a tray and just sweeping it on, but that's kind of a last resort. The other thing that I do from time to time is I'll use a roller. Now I have a hard roller, about a 4-inch hard roller that has like a hard roll, whatever they're called, on it. I hate it. I tried it for gluing. It's inconsistent. It's super hard to clean, and I don't even know where it is right now, but I never use it. The other thing that I tried once, and I never use it again, see, this is one of the fuzzy heads that you can get on these things. It might be nice for paint, but for glue, it's horrible, I found anyway. You use so much glue, and it doesn't do a really good job. What I've been finding and what I've been using lately is these little foam rollers. They seem to apply nicely, and when you buy these things, you can even get a little sort of tray, which is plastic. It's fairly easy to clean, of course, depending on the kind of glue that you're using, and the stuff rolls on. I found that it rolls on pretty nicely, but you may not have as big a surface of this, and you still may want to apply glue. Check these out. These are spatula heads. You just pull the handles off. I don't know where the handles are. They've been off for a long time. I bought one of them, and it worked so well that sometimes I had trouble seeing it, so I bought another one that's red. These are silicone, and what that means, if glue dries on that, no matter what glue it is, you just take it and flick it off, and they're nice and flexible. And you can apply as thick or as thin a coat as you want. They just work great. I'm just really happy with using these. Now you could use another thing. I know a lot of people have suggested to me you can use room keys. Well, I don't happen to have hotel room keys kicking around, and I never think to keep them when I am in a hotel. But you know what? Lids from food containers, they'll work perfectly. All I do with those is cut the rim off so you get a nice flat surface. Now don't make a flat surface or a straight surface. Don't try and cut one like this and expect it's going to be straight and flat. This one happens that it is, but the reason I don't like doing that is because very often there's a little bit of a crook, or it's crooked and you're rocking it and it's uneven putting the glue on. The best way to do these is to put them on a board and use a straight edge like this. put them on there, use a straight edge, and cut yourself a perfect straight edge so that you can put the glue on. Doesn't matter what it is, like that. And that should just pop off of there. And that is absolutely straight. It's not going to rock when you're applying glue. And I like it because it's nice and flexible. You put glue on, and you, again, depending on where you put your fingers, you can put it thick or thin. And if you don't have a hotel room key handy to apply, this works at least as good. And you can actually vary the size with it as well. I've also used in the past, this is plastic laminate, this is countertop material. It's quite a bit harder. I don't use that as much anymore because it's not as flexible as I like. I find these, in fact, these silicone spatula things that you can get from the dollar store, they work absolutely perfectly, so pretty hard to beat those. So if you're doing a big wide surface, same things apply. Make sure that you don't have any grit, no little lumps, no bumps, no bits of wood on there, because whatever you put on top, that will telegraph through onto your veneer or even your laminate. It'll show, if I've done laminates, unfortunately, with a little bit, and you'll get a little bit of a bump in the middle, and it'll drive you crazy the rest of your life until you replace it. So there's some gluing tips. So let's talk briefly about when the glue is dry. How do you get the glue off? Now, I typically will wait about half an hour for the glue to get semi-dry, and most of the time I will pre-finish the wood before I even glue it together. And when you do that, it depends on the finish that you use, whether you can do that or not. I use Osmo, and I almost always pre-finish. And when you glue it together, honestly, when the 20 minutes later, you can take that glue and just wipe it off. You can't even tell that it's there. But sometimes I'm going to be dyeing the wood, and that can make a difference because you don't want to get dye on either sides of those, because it does appear to affect the gluing. So you don't want to be putting dyes, or certainly you don't want to put stains on there. For sure that will affect, but I've discovered that even dyes can do that as well. So how do you, assuming it's raw wood, how are you going to get the glue off? I have one of these little tools. This is a three-sided scraper, and you can, of course, you can use, I'm still only on the first side, and I can run that down, and that will take the glue off, and it actually takes off. You can see I've got a little surface of wood there because it actually scrapes. See that? It scrapes the wood. So it gets right down on there and scrapes the glue off, so you get an absolute perfect joint. Now that's one thing that I do. The other thing that you can do when you're doing long grain to long grain, you might have something like this. Maybe you're gluing a cabinet together, and you have a top on a bottom, and you've got glue out, and again, squeeze out of the glue, and it's going through, and that's good. And the nice thing with this is it can actually get right in those corners and take that glue out top and bottom. The other thing, and I've used this for years, I use one of these little razors, and this one, or razor blades. This one does not have a little cap on. You can actually purchase them with a little cap on. This is some that I've got that fit a little tool head that I have. But you can get right in there with that, and see how that gets right in the corner, and you can use that to scrape the glue out top and bottom, and it gets right in there and does a great little job. And all it is a simple razor blade, and that can save all of your scraping, all of your glue out. And if you do this about 20 minutes after you've glued it up, that glue will be sort of semi-hard, and it usually will come up very easily. It depends on the brand of glue and what you're using, but those are two things that I use, and they just work absolutely perfect for anything I've been doing. So those are just a few of the things that I do in preparing a project for gluing, and items that I use to put glue on and to take excess glue off. what I can tell you is if you prepare ahead of time, make sure that you've got everything that you need. Take your time and do it properly. And don't do what I did in my early days, was rush through things, end up getting glue on my project, and after I stained it or dyed it and find out that I've got fingerprints or glue dropped somewhere, got on the project, and now I have to resand everything, reapply the stain or the dye, then reapply a finish. We can avoid all of those things if we do things right in the first place and just take a little bit more time. I'm Colin Canet for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.